No. Plastic. There we go. Hi, my name is Chrono, and today, well, that one video I said I was going to make is here, so, yeah. Homing Spider Droid. I said in the last video with the LAAT LE gunship, not the infantry one, the more patrol one. But yeah, I'm here with it. Sorry, I had to take a little bit, and I'm trying to gather my thoughts. I initially had to do this before, but then I'm trying to do a few things. So, yeah, I had to package this up for a few moments so I make sure everything else was nice and squared away. So, yeah. This is a custom set that I got off Amazon. And okay. Before you ask and questions like, oh, hey, do they just come in this thing? Do they just come in this bag? Like it is. Like I just did. No. They came in these little baggies and stuff like that. They were not numbered. It's kind of a common thing with some of these unofficial custom sets. I just had to, again, as I said, I had to package this up after I opened the bag so I could just take care of something and get that done. So, let me get this sorted. Also, to get an idea as to how big this thing is, this is supposed to be part of the body of it. But yeah. Okay, let's see. What do we got? The instructions are like this. It's one page. And this is the end result. Now, it is a bit small, so I will give you that warning in case you get one of these yourself. But the thing is, I do believe that this actually is a custom recreation of a old set that we had a while back. I unfortunately don't have the year memorized, but there was some stuff with it. Yeah, some people might want to have some of the figures with it that came with this droid. Personally, I'm not too worried about that. There's the internet. I could always buy a custom or something. It's fine. Also, the Droid Spider Droid that was in that build was kind of meh. But hey. Where is that piece here? Oh! Little classic little blaster. So let's see. I need 4 pieces of this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's see. So there's 4 steps in this thing. Step 12 is where you get the legs all done. Step 21 is where you get the lower section done. Step 30 is where you get the top section. And then step 40 is where you finish doing all the guns. So, yeah, I think we'll go with that. Alright, see you in a bit. Okay. Here we are at step 12. This thing is, ooh. Okay. I'm gonna be honest. This feels so weird. This feels so weird. Oh my god, this feels so weird. I know the different mechanisms and how this thing's actually supposed to work are different, but at the same time, it's still interesting to see this thing move with how they designed this. Because this is, I believe, a custom based off an old set that Lego did, right? And it looks pretty much the same, but I'm just looking at it and I'm like, that's and you just saw me experience that for the first time of like how the legs are functioning. Yeah, that's something. That is something. I mean, like, this is just, I am not sure. I'm getting one of the sections done if I can quickly, so you can see. This took a while, because these things, these little ridges that you see, those are studs. These are these little studs that have a hole in them, and making sure I had the right pieces in the right order, it was a process. So that's why it took so long. And this is something I'm looking forward to, and I'm glad this is not going to be as long to assemble. It seems like the most annoying part of this whole assembly of this droid is behind me, because these legs, they're a bit annoying. So what is this? Hmm. This is weird. This is weird indeed. All right, I'm gonna get back to this. I'll be back. This is a really interesting build, and the fact that I believe this is actually based off of a set that Lego made before, like a recreation of it. This is yeah, this is something. Hold on. Hold on, you can't see what I'm saying. Hold on. I can't take this droid seriously. It's so funny right now. I don't know what it is. I imagine this thing is definitely something to be afraid of when it enters the battlefield, but still, it's like, considering the moment, it's just silly. I have not used that word in a long time. Alright, let me finish the rest of this assembly and then we'll talk about it, yeah? Okay, I'm back. Had to deal with a few things, and I did have to deal with that, but yeah. Got some Fanta. Right. So we have a homing spider droid. Look at this thing. We got some interesting movement. Now it goes like that. You can have it be like that. It's going to be interesting to pose later and put on display. But yeah, this is an interesting droid, especially considering where they were used and who they were used by. Now, I don't remember the manufacturer, but I do remember that these things, if anybody is familiar with this and was like, hey, this looks familiar, it should be. These things first showed up during the Battle of Geonosis during the second film of Star Wars, Attack of the Clones. And, oh, hold up. Ow. Okay, my neck is not happy with me. There we go. Hello. Oh, there we go. Okay. Right. Battle of Geonosis. But I believe they also showed up during the Battle of Kashyyyk. Now, the locations are interesting considering, like, Kashyyyk is like a mostly like jungle planet. There is some coastal areas and stuff like that, but it's mostly jungles and stuff like that. So it begs the question: why would a droid that showed up there on like a desert planet, like in a place where there's like waters with that? And I'll tell you why. These droids, I mean, look at the legs. These things are actually used around more coastal areas. Oceanic battles, stuff like that, which is interesting because they look like giant land striders. You know, it's really fascinating to see how different droids were made to deal with certain environments. Granted, it sucks that they were made for war, but at the same time, I could be wrong about the history of this because I'll admit, I am forgetting some history regarding these droids in particular. But I remember some of their weaponry. Like, one of these is like a blaster. The other is a high-powered laser. And I'm thinking the gun, the actual auto blaster, the auto gun, is this one right here, and this one's supposed to be the laser. I could be wrong. It's been a minute, and it's cool because you could actually play as. I remember in the Lego Star Wars 3: The Clone Wars, you can actually play as one of these things. Well, you can drive one, and you can do stuff with that, but I can't remember. Sorry, I need to stretch because I've been filming this thing behind the camera. Oh, I needed that. Yep. Oh, I needed that. I need some food later. Man. You don't realize it when you build stuff like this, but it ends up building an appetite. Also leaves you stiff. Oh, that was my back. Yep. All right. Also, it doesn't help that it's actually starting to get a little bit cold to the point where it's actually starting to bother me, which is saying something because I don't like dealing with, like, I could actually prefer cooler temps over warmer temps because I have a problem with overheating. But yeah, if I'm starting to get cold, that's a problem. But yeah, back on point. This was a really cool droid, and it's not, and while it wasn't necessarily one of my favorite droids, it's still a cool droid to have in my possession. Because this did show up, and it was used by the Separatists, but it's still a cool thing to have. I like droids of all shapes and sizes, stuff like that, when it comes to Star Wars. Specifically, canon Star Wars. I'm not going to get into this. There are people in the comments possibly. Feel free to go and leave comments or whatever. But yeah, if there's somebody who has questions about stuff with Star Wars, yeah, feel free to ask. I'm willing to tell what I know. But yeah, stuff like this. There is a droid that I do really want to get my hands on. It's a Scorponok Annihilator. There's I think it's a tank droid as well. There's a number of Separatist droids that I've been wanting to collect. And eventually, I'm going to figure out a way to get them. But yeah. Also, another thing that's interesting about this is actually a pretty decently sized droid. I mean, here's a battle droid. And here's a clone trooper. Now, I will say this. I think for those of you who were watching my channel before, you do remember that I had the clone troopers and battle droid battle pack, which is actually where this guy and this guy come from. Sorry about that one. And it comes with an Octopara Tri-Droid. Those of you who forgot, it was like, oh, hey, aren't those things big? Yeah, the Magna Octopara Tri-Droids are big, huge. There's a smaller one. That's what showed up in the battle pack. So before anybody gets all in a tizzy, I was like, hey, that thing looks bigger than that one droid that you were talking about in that one video. Yeah, it's because that's the smaller version. There are bigger ones. There's at least 3 different types of Octopara Tri-Droids. There's the smaller one, which is in the video, is one of my previous videos. And then there's 2 Magna variants, one of which that can fly. Why, I don't know. That one's still terrifying, considering that's the size of it. It's 44 feet tall. Why do you need it? Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I remember seeing these things playing Star Wars Battlefront, and I remember seeing these things playing Lego Star Wars, The Clone Wars. So I like having this thing around because it's still a really cool droid, and it actually looks like it's pretty much in scale. So yeah, another good build, another good set, and plus, if you're not able to get the like this, because this is like a recreation of a set that Lego made, an official Lego set that Lego made ages ago, and it had a dwarf spider droid. I think it had Kashyyyk clone troopers, and I think maybe it had Commander Gree. I could be wrong on that one. I could be wrong. But it was an interesting set. The dwarf spider droid in that one leaves more to be desired, but hey, it's what it is. But yeah, this was a really cool set to have. And it's going to be interesting putting this thing on display. Because, well, look at this. I'm going to have to figure out a way to get this set up in a way where it's just going to not be problematic. I hope this fits on this. I hope this just fits on the shelf just fine and it doesn't just go and start spazzing out. Alright, I'm gonna wrap this one up. You all have a good one. I will see you all in the next video, and chances are that video will be the Wally set. Maybe, if not, well, channel one over here. See that little dude right there? You can't see him that well, but that is the Lucky Cat statue that Lego made. I still have yet to do a video on that, and I built it for my mother because she got that for Christmas. I will get to that eventually. Don't worry. It's going to be there. But yeah. I'm probably going to go and build the Wally thing behind the scenes, not on camera. I'm probably just going to go and get that one set up and built at my leisure and have fun with it because, hey, I like the Wally thing and I did that before for the first one, so, hey. But yeah. I think that's about it for all I'm willing to talk about with this thing. These are really cool droids, though. So yeah, I'm glad I've had one of those things now added to my collection. But yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure to hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.